Datatech out with full year earnings today, and headline earnings per share down 53% for Datatech, revenue falling some 11% to 3.7 billion rand, and that's as consulting fees were impacted negatively. Here's Jens Montanana, the CEO of Datatech, on their results out today, the prospects going forward.
Really the B, I and the C. We have no plans at present to venture into Russia. We have a presence in India. We have a very strong presence in Brazil. We've been there for over 10 years. And as you pointed out, we've recently got into China. I think all of those large developing markets are an opportunity for us. And in addition to that, there are other opportunities around the rest of Asia and also other parts of Latin America. Going back to developed markets, the US and North America is very important for us. It represents 40% of our business, and the US, as you know, in the last 5 years has generally been a laggard to the rest of the world. And we think now it's clear, and I think it reflects in the strength of the dollar, that there's a wide expectation that there's going to be a broad and sustainable recovery in the US, and that's clearly good for us. You know, it's a home of innovation. Strong results last night from Cisco. You know, the upgrade to the forward guidance from IBM.
And of course, you are a seller of Cisco systems.
We're a large, I mean, you know, 45% of our business in one way or the other is related to Cisco. Close to 20% of our business is related to IBM and, you know, things in their ecosystem. So, yeah, obviously it's important for us that those organisations or those large companies are, you know, pulling the industry forward.
Dirk, let's start with your thoughts on the share price at 38 Rand 30, flat on the day. Is this one offering value, or has it run a little hard of late?
It's a difficult question. There's still some potential for further recovery in the share. I think that the results is a tale of two halves. You've had the worst of the downturn in the first half, and then the second half coming through. By my estimates, I think we're going to see another 2 years of earnings recovery coming through as a result of recovery in the US and Europe. But at current valuations, it seems very tightly priced.
Etienne, do you concur? Tightly priced at 38 Rand 30.
Yes, Bronwyn, we at BJM agree. However, it is the pick of the bunch in the ICT sector for us. Even at current levels, we quite like the story.
Well, let's come to Dimension Data, and Dirk, this is to you. Yesterday we saw interim earnings out of Dimension Data, and we saw a 7.7% gain in first half basic earnings per share. That's to 4.2 US cents. But perhaps more importantly, we saw the operating margin climbing to 5%, which is a target that Brett Dawson has long had on the table, and that's up from the prior comparable period where the operating margin was sitting at 4.5%. There has been that debate, which I pointed out yesterday, that Dimension Data is looking expensive given the fact that it has run hard lately, but it rallied 7.5% yesterday and then closed up 2 1/3% higher at 11 Rand 41 today. Your thoughts on Dimension Data, Dirk?
Well, Bronwyn, the result from Data also quite good, seeing the market starting to recover. I think the big growth area in the IT market is specifically networking and related services, and Data's got a very good position there. However, I think again at current price levels on forward earnings basis, 15-16 times is quite steep, and pricing in a couple of years of good earnings growth already. It might be overdoing it a bit, in my opinion.
Were you on the right side of this one? Have you been paying attention to the IT stocks in South Africa, specifically Dimension Data? Although you've just made mention that Datatech is your preferred entry. Has Dimension Data fallen by the wayside?
Yeah, we just prefer the Datatech focus. It's a much cleaner business. You know, the Plessy in Data struggled a bit, and we don't really like the business mix there. Hence our preference for Datatech.
Dirk, Jens Montanana from Datatech mentioning the fact that in some way 45% of Datatech's business is related to Cisco systems. Is this not an inherent risk in the business model, given the fact that we're going to see the big players out there ultimately squeezing margin down the line?
Well, Bronwyn, it's quite interesting what's happening with the big IT players. There's a turf war going on with Cisco right in the middle of it. Cisco and HP specifically going up against one another in networking and in unified communications. And what's happening is, I think that the dominant channel partners to Cisco that don't compete with it is actually being looked after better than before. So at the moment we don't see the margin pressures from Cisco coming through to Data and Data Tech.
Dirk, appreciate your views. Thank you very much for joining us from Cape Town. That was Dirk Newt, ICT analyst at Avior Research. Etienne, you wanted to make a comment on Afrimat, following on the back of what Anthony Clark from Vunani Securities was saying earlier.
Bronwyn, I think this is a very solid story, and they quite cleverly made some strategic acquisitions in the past 2 years, setting them up very nicely for this result that we saw this morning. For example, they bought equipment company and basically paid NAV for that business a while back, buying infrastructure effectively as opposed to buying new machines, and then starting to slowly but surely buying aggregates and quarries. And as we can see, they recently bought a quarry from Exaro. So I think this management team should actually command a slight premium, and at a current PE of 4, I don't think it's too expensive. So you can probably look at this one.
So maybe to put that one into your portfolio.
Definitely.
Just very quickly, rumours abounding, and of course not only PSG potentially looking at BJM private client services, which I said I wouldn't go into. Standard Chartered, Nedbank, where there's smoke there's fire, or and again just putting it on the table, Julian Roberts today saying that Nedbank is core to their strategy going forward in South Africa.
Bronwyn, I would actually go with Julian's comments there. You know, we've actually seen the Standard Chart Nedbank rumour surfacing a couple of times, so maybe it's just someone talking their book, and truth be told, I'll believe it when I see it.